Hey, welcome back to the Gugabe and Tim podcast. This is Tim, and then I'm here with Gugabe. How you doing?
G'day, mate. I'm great.
Cool. We
How are you?
got. I'm good. I was kind of excited for the big break and all the UFC action, but now I'm kind of anxious for the cards to get started.
Yeah, exactly. Degenerate powers have to be used somehow. I've been punting on NFL. I've actually made money somehow, but I shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't really bet on other sports except I bet a little bit on basketball just because I have a buddy who I mean I don't make my own picks. He
Yeah.
just tells me what to bet because I know nothing about basketball. But other than that, like how's NFL betting? I hear it's kind of hard to get an edge sometimes.
I just most of what I do to make real money would be picking off slow future lines.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not pretending to originate. Like, I'm not saying I'm fucking originating capping. Like I had a decent weekend because I just hate the Patriots with a deep passion and they were favourites. I'm not going
Yeah.
to pretend I've got some massive edge or something.
Yeah, for sure. My buddy's a good basketball bettor, and he's got a bit of an edge. So I kind of just tail him, but I don't know anything about other sports to be honest. Like, I mean, I know about it, but not to be able to win in betting.
Yeah, a lot
Um,
of my stuff is just like just mispriced favorite markets or slow lines. Like
yeah,
you see times where it's like a team to win the division with minus 250 in week 15, but mathematically it should be minus 1,000 if you just go through the
yeah,
timebreakers.
yeah, like
I'm
common
like,
sense stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, we got UFC 246 on January 18th, and we're doing this a little early, about a week and a half, 2 weeks early, just to kind of, it's a big card. I feel like people just kind of want to hear some MMA content. So let's start at the bottom. I actually think this card's pretty good. I've heard like some MMA media like mainstream MMA media kind of knock on it, but I actually like think there's a few decent matchups on this card. So let's get at it. But JJ Aldrich and Sabina Mazo, what are your thoughts here?
to be perfectly frank, I haven't really looked. I like JJ Aldrich. I took her against Barber last time, where
Yeah.
she looked like she was value for a bit, then kind of Barber just kind of athletes her. So
Yeah.
like I hedged live, so I was okay because Aldrich did briefly become favourite, but I have no real strong opinion on this. I've seen a bunch of people I know and respect going for Aldrich, so I guess Aldrich, but I haven't really invested intention into the fight.
Yeah, I actually researched this one just because sometimes I don't know, sometimes it's like women's MMA fights, you can maybe find a little something where that might have a big edge for somebody. But like I like Aldrich's game. Like she has a good straight left and she's pretty consistent. But it was funny. I was kind of going in anticipating liking her, but I actually think Mazo's got a shot here. I kind of like her volume and kicking game, but I don't think I'm gonna play it. I think it's a pretty close fight, but like Mazo's game is better than I originally remembered, I guess is what I'm trying to say. She can get tagged a little bit by boxing, so I expect Aldrich to have success, but Mazo's just kind of come forward and kind of lands a lot. So I expect maybe some momentum swings in this fight and not too much. I wouldn't suggest a bet on either girl, to be honest, but
And also, as we kind of both say, it's a women's striking match, and
yep.
there's not massive volume disparities, so
Yeah.
like a big moment could happen. You don't know, like it's hard to really be confident in this sort of fight.
Yeah, it's a thing too where I actually think like Aldrich can probably land some big shots with her boxing, and Mazo can probably land some like big shots with her kicks because she has like a good body and head kicks. Like you said, it could be one of those things where it's just super close and who lands at the right time. So it's just it's kind of like it's probably going to decision too. So it's probably just going to hinge on a few 30 seconds of success in a couple rounds.
Yeah, or just whoever ends each round slightly busier,
Yeah, yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest.
That's the way I
Which,
see it.
yeah,
But moving on to a fight that I know you have strong opinions over. Um, Osbourne and Kelleher. I'll let you take this one. I haven't done as much research as you, but go ahead.
As we all know, I enjoy fading alliterative regional shitbags. And Osbourne is pushing towards the Nicholas Negarimiano side of the scale. Like, if you do proper tape on this guy, he just isn't very good. He's got no. He doesn't really do get ups. His TDD is awful. He gasses pretty spectacularly after 5 minutes. Oh, we've got one fight of him going beyond 5 minutes, and the other one, which I couldn't find tape on, was a split decision in his favour on the regionals in a promotion that his gym owner runs. So I'm just going to go. I'm dubious about that split without him watching footage. His 7 years experience, so that kind of helps to, I guess, reduce the chances of him just having a massive step up in ability. Like if he was a fresh fighter, if he's 3 years into his career, he can't go, all right, maybe he'll just turn over a new leaf. But I don't think he's going to suddenly shoot up in year 7 whilst working full time as a teacher and not really being in a good gym. And yeah, Kelleher's busy. He can hit takedowns. He boxes pretty effectively. Osbourne doesn't check leg kicks, and Kelleher's been throwing them pretty well. And I think Kelleher's getting unfairly written off for losing a war to Lineker, who was fucking top 10 bantamweight. Honestly, could even be top 5 bantamweight. Like, he should have won that Sandhagen decision. And yeah, and Jackson is a essentially super prospect, and even then that wasn't like he was getting absolutely whooped. It was fairly dependent on the feet, but he gets smacked with a massive elbow and gets club subbed. And I think that's enough to really suggest he's done.
Yeah, to be honest, like I haven't done enough tape on this. I remember taping Osbourne, and I liked his striking a little bit. Like he seemed athletic and everything, but he was every fight I had seen him in, he kind of won in the first round. So I didn't see his fights play out, you know. And it just like you sent me a fight of his just before we started recording here, and it definitely looked like he was slowing down, and it was like, you know, a decision that he lost, and then the other decision he was in, he won by split decision. But to be fair, they were, you know, 3 to 4 years ago, the fights, but they also were the only fights he went to decision, you know, so they're still relevant. So I guess I just haven't researched enough, but I mean, I guess I would say Kelleher likely has the advantage if the fight goes deep, you know. But at the same time, I don't love Kelleher's game. Like I know some people like he still gets hit a lot, you know, even if he is like busy himself and can come forward. But I don't love his game. But I mean, he's done it against actual UFC competition. I'm kind of thinking out loud. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then Osbourne, I didn't like that even on his fight in the Contender Series, he has a tendency to be on his back, and I've seen that in other fights. But I guess I see like red flags either way. Like I definitely get it though, because I mean, it doesn't look like Osbourne fares well going deep, you know, and Kelleher does. So that's definitely advantage Kelleher, and I like round winners more than, you know, finishers.
Yeah.
Like just because Kelleher recently got finished, I think people, you know, and Osbourne has a bunch of first round wins. I see how people get attracted to the fact that he's going to finish Kelleher, but I tend to think he probably won't. Like, I mean, he could, but like I err on the side of it not happening. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I'll have to look into it, but I wasn't too passionate about it either way. But the fact that you dug up a few fights, I'll take a look.
And also, like, to be frank, Osbourne hasn't even really beaten mid-tier regional competition. Like, yeah, he won on TNC, but the guy he fought has no real wins.
Yeah.
The guys he's fought have no real wins. He's kind of just like one of these guys is just living in an offshoot little league somewhere. It's like nobody he's fought has beaten anybody.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
like
just like he hasn't even got like mid-tier RFA or LFA wins. Like, you know, there are tiers to the regionals.
I understand the reasoning. Like, I mean, we see people come along like this who, you know, get a quick finish, and then all of a sudden they can't get a finish on the UFC, and they're awful, you know.
Yeah.
So I get it. I guess I just haven't like in-depth tapes because I remember thinking Osbourne's striking was pretty athletic and like, pretty decent, but maybe it just looks athletic and decent for 5 minutes, So I don't really know. I'm definitely gonna look more into it, and we got a couple weeks for the fight. So, but I I conceptually get the pick, and this is the type of pick that you do well on. Um, I guess
I
sometimes I
just
just want a little more certainty, but
Yeah, makes sense. I
yeah,
just fundamentally guy who's hasn't really even beaten mid-tier regional competition coming into the UFC and being a favourite over. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Kelleher's the GOAT or anything like that, but he is sort of low mid-tier UFC bantamweight.
yeah. No, that's true.
Like
He definitely is.
he was briefly ranked. Yes, he was briefly ranked because he beat Burrell, but still, I think at the peak he's probably like number 30 bantamweight in the world.
Yeah, and to be fair to Kelleher, like I know he
And
gets
Kelleher,
hit a lot, but it was really like Lineker kind of fucked up his stats by lining him up, and Lineker, I mean, I'm a Sandhagen fan, but at the same time, Lineker still landed 106 significant strikes on Corey Sandhagen, so like Lineker's fucking legit. Um, but at the same time, Barrow landed a lot of strikes on Kelleher too, So but I guess Barrow always kind of gets a lot of strikes, but his optics look so bad that you don't really like care,
yeah.
But I don't know. Like I get it. I get it. I think I conceptually agree with the pick. I just don't know if it's like my style of play. But
Yeah. And
go,
also,
oh,
just
good.
age like Kelleher has wins like Arce, Sukumtar. Even regionally, he had decent
Yeah,
regional wins.
yeah,
Like, he's beaten Arce twice.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
No, like you're probably right. To be honest, the more I think about it,
where would you price Arce against Osbourne?
yeah. I
Like,
mean,
you're not saying an MMA maths it purely, but where would you price Arce?
yeah, I guess it's just kind of tough because I don't know how good Osborne is. Like Osborne honestly might be like Arce could be minus 900 over him, but maybe Osborne is better than we realize. Like I don't know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
The
there's
more
always
I think of it, I might be psyching myself out because I mean we've only seen Osborne really look dominant in first round wins, and at bantamweight, how many first round finishers are there? Not many.
and also like I probably approach prospect slash the sport with more pessimism than most people.
You
I
do,
just tend to I just tend to default to the assumption that if I haven't seen something, it's not, or at least it's not going to be great.
yeah,
If I haven't seen somebody do something and I haven't got like good reason to respect their camp or at least their sort of background, I'm gonna give you maximum C plus. Like it is possible Oswald comes out and looks like an elite talent. I'm not gonna say it's totally impossible, but is it minus 140 against a UFC veteran possible?
right. No,
Like
yeah, you're right. You're definitely correct. I guess it's just a betting philosophy. Like you kind like you're willing to take risks on question marks where I usually just don't play question marks, Um which is like I think either way is reasonable. Like I wouldn't play Osborne here,
yeah,
Um like it's either no play or Kelleher in my opinion, but I see the movements on Osborne, which is kind of funny.
yeah. I don't get that. I guess TNC gets hype. I
Yeah.
just and people do like reach advantages.
Yeah.
Uh, unless somebody's got really strong confidential information, I just do not see how you could play Osborne. Like either they've seen Kelleher dying in the gym, or their confidence Osborne is a lot better than anything's really shown.
Yeah.
Like
And I mean, Osborne also got knee barred like a year and a half ago. So like, um, yeah, I don't like guys who play guard, and
yeah,
he tends to do that. Like, so I'm not going to play a guy who plays guard, and I don't even know much about him, Um,
And it's not like he's not playing some elite, incredible guard. Like, he goes for triangle chokes, but like, he's not hugely active with sub attempts. He's not trying to sweep. He's just kind of lying there, going for the same triangle choke attempt. And also, I feel like some people are acting like Kelleher will just get instantly tapped if he enters Osbourne's guard because Kelleher has sub losses.
Yeah.
And like, Kelleher did get triangled on the regionals once, but it was kind of an immediate one of going for a takedown, which he kind of landed in it. And otherwise, it's like, the Jackson submission was a club sub. Who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't really reflect poorly upon his submission defense. And the Vera one, I think, showed a lot more sort of weird, janky sub ability than anything Osbourne's get pulled out.
Yeah.
And that Vera one was legitimately slick.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of a mess of a fight, but like I get it if it's your philosophy of being skeptical to newcomers. So going on to a pretty fun fight, actually. The next one, Askarov and Elliott. What are your thoughts here?
I kind of trust. I do like Askarov still, like even after that Moreno kind of mess. Because but I just do. I feel like I lean Elliott as dog here, just because I feel like Elliott should stay on top more often.
Yeah.
Askarov's another guard player. Like, Elliott could definitely just go for a takedown instantly and get subbed by like me, magical Goga.
Yeah.
Because that's how Elliott rolls. Like, and the win sub RNC is one of the weird. It's just one of the stupidest sub losses in UFC history.
Even that Dawson loss, like I kind of forgot that Dawson really had no success in that fight until that guillotine. And like Elliott wasn't landing any like significant shots, but he was kind of pitter pattering up volume at that point. And then, I mean, nothing really happened to be real, but it was just kind of like Elliott landed a good takedown and he got guillotined. It was really weird, you know?
Yeah. And like, also, this should be mostly a grappling match, and Elliott is a bigger, probably stronger, and probably fitter guy, I believe.
Yeah,
Elliott's a huge flyweight.
Yeah,
He almost tapped Mighty Mouse essentially just purely on just being fucking annoying and big. And he's grappled successfully, or at least competitively, with a lot of high-level grapplers. Ogakubo, Smolka, De La Rosa. Like, De La Rosa's not awful. Schnell. Shelton, just you go down this. He's lost. He gets casually randomly up, but he has a series of very strong grappling exhibitions, and just I feel like he'll probably tend to be more on top.
Yeah, that's literally my exact thoughts. Is he doesn't play guard and Askarov does. So and Elliott lands a shitload of takedowns and passes guard a lot, you know, and yeah, like I tend to lean the top player on this matchup. This is a fight I'm gonna tape a little more because I kind of lean Elliott here, but I kind of want to look into it, like just kind of the grappling nuances a little more because I feel like you can't just like I feel like this is one you really have to like look into the tape and the setups of like Askarov's subs and things like that. Like I'm gonna have to like tape this like I taped Kenny and Bermudez, you know, to really look at the sub risk because I feel like if Askarov doesn't sub Elliott, Elliott's gonna win, you know.
Yeah, and Elliott is very capable. Elliott is very capable of just randomly getting tapped.
Yeah.
But again, like the only like embarrassing tap I can think of Elliott's really been done by lately was Nguyen, and that was just that Nguyen tap was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
He just randomly gave his back. Like I hold he probably wins that fight more often than he loses it. He just randomly gave the win for a gift. He just randomly gift wrapped his back for the win.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it more. I'm excited for this fight though. Like it should be fun. Yeah. I just feel like Elliott can scramble up from bottom better than Askarov. Yeah. You know, like that's the thing because Askarov will just, even though Askarov's a good grappler, it's just he plays guard and that's gonna fuck him at some point, you know. And this might be the fight, but
also Elliott is also it's not like Elliott's a weak grappler by any means.
Oh, no. I mean, Elliott lands a shitload of takedowns and passes guard all the time. You know, that's just like what he does. He's a good scrambler. I wouldn't go if I end up playing Elliott. I wouldn't go big on it just because it is a little messy,
Yeah.
But I tend to lean him. But I'll decide on whether I'm going to make a play. Speaking of a mess, Justin Ledet and Alexa Camur. I'm assuming because you hate newcomers that you probably like Ledet here. I'm personally going to pass, but you can.
I got a bit. I got essentially got the opener for Ledet. I think I got plus 135. Not really married to it, but I don't know. Dislike of newcomers. I don't like. Camur seems pretty low bell rim. Ledet puts out a decent jab, has a good chin, and just I don't know. I feel like Ledet has generally not been awful. Like yeah, Luke each loss was one side of brutal destruction, but otherwise it's kind of been competitive. You know, and I don't really think you can pull much out of what do you call it? Johnny Walker killing him instantly. Like, who cares? So yeah, I also like GTD a bit too. I think Ledet's quite durable. Ledet doesn't really bother to try and finish very emphatically.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no strong opinions here. Honestly, don't have much to say about it. I kind of just think it's like a mess, you know. But
yeah, I got plus 140. It's currently on the plus 110, so at least I'm on the right side of the price.
yeah, for sure.
If it opens evens, I'll probably hedge off a bit.
Yeah.
GD probably my lane again because I even came as like TNC debut. He wasn't really doing a hell of a lot. Like, yeah, he got a very nice flying knee counter to get the knockout, but like, he didn't seem massively powerful. And how often do you get counter flying knees as a knockout method, realistically?
Yeah, it's just one of those fights. It's so hard for me to be able to tell if someone's good from the Contender Series. Like, I can tell if a really good grappler is good, you know. But sometimes, like people who just kind of box on there, I can't always tell, just because anyone can look good as a striker if the competition's bad enough, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really hard for me to tell there, you know, like how many times have we seen someone like maybe look good striking on regionals and they come to the UFC and they're not that good, you know, like Arian or something. So it's just kind of it's really hard for me to like get much information from there. That's why I don't really care about this fight.
Yeah, that's always the thing about MMA. It's like dating in Missouri. All skill sets are relative. It's just
Yep.
yeah. A lot of the time, what somebody's doing to regional shitters just doesn't really reflect reality.
Yep.
Like if I have as personally as a grappler, if I am given somebody who I can beat, I can look world class against them.
Oh yeah.
But so it's just like it's and if all you had was that tape, you didn't know how good the other. You could then compare that to tape of like an actual elite grappler in a competitive match, and they'll be like, yeah, I'll beat Cyborg or some shit.
Yeah, I remember one like a good example of this is like, and sometimes like the people you're going against can't even tell how like when someone's so much better than them, like two people, he can't even like that grappler, the inferior grappler can't even know who's better of the two people beating him, you know? And like
Yeah,
I remember that there was this kid, this dude who came in and I was just like insta tapping him. Just, you know, I have like I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a while and I've been wrestling since I was 4. So I had a huge advantage on some guy off the street. And I was just kind of tapping him left and right. And I remember he was like, you can beat Ezra, right? And Ezra's my coach and there's no way I can beat him in grappling, you know? And he just like assumed I was like on that level too, because I could kind of dominate him as well. And I was like, no, dude, like there's no way I'm tapping Ezra Lennon. Like Ezra Lennon's world class, you know? But like two people can look similar level of dominance, but when they go against each other, you know, it's a lot different. So
it's also stylistic. Some people are just very good at pub stomping.
yeah,
Just the way they wrestle, where just can some people just have certain styles of grappling or striking where they'll just look insanely dominant against shit competition.
yeah,
They'll just kind of fall apart against decent competition. While other
yeah,
ones will probably might look less dominant against shit competition, but will also look consistent against better competition.
yeah.
I think people tend to assume there's a lot more absolute skill in grappling and striking than there actually is, or like an outclassing will always look the same.
Yeah.
Like there are some guys who might be world class who'll just win a close decision against pretty much anybody, just because it's how they operate.
Yoel Romero is a good example of that in wrestling. He always won every match by like 1 point, but it was like also no one could take him down, you know? So even though he would maybe win a match by, 1 point or one takedown or 2 points and one takedown or something, he like he would kind of win by the same score against anyone, if that makes sense, just because he wasn't an output wrestler, if that, he wasn't going to the
exactly.
takedown. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he minimized risk. So it's like, if you're confident you can get your margin, why do more than your margin?
Exactly. Or like a Jordan Burroughs is going to run up the score if he's dominant, like he's going to shoot like 9 double legs and tech fall you. So, but going on to a fight I have strong opinions on, like I did a video on this. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I'd like Dawson over Skelly. Just mainly it's just volume wrestling and busyness overall and just cardio edge. That's kind of like the main reasons. Another thing I like about Dawson is he passes guard like pretty much every time he gets a takedown. So I think that's important. And Skelly, a thing I didn't throw out in the video I did, Skelly's been taken down 14 times in the UFC and is like, even though he's known as kind of a submission grappler, he's been passed 14 times and 14 times he's been taken down. So like I just think that's a good stat to know because sometimes you forget how many times someone might be getting passed in a fight until you kind of get reminded. Then when you go back, you kind of notice the holes a little more, if that makes sense. But, that's why I like him. Like I got on Dawson at minus 160 early. I think I mentioned this fight to you a while ago.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like smash Dawson's line anymore around like mid minus 200s, but I still think I think he should be in the 300s. But like some people aren't as high on Dawson, but I just think this style does well in the UFC. That's just kind of what I think. Volume wrestling, even like a Colby Covington, like when he first started, he might look sloppy and stuff, but it goes far because people can't keep up with it. So that's kind of what I think. I think Dawson eventually will get finished because he's defensively open. But I don't think Skelly's the guy to do that, but that's pretty much my thoughts.
If Skelly's sub 1 or something ends up being like plus 900, it might take a small stab.
Yeah, I think that's his condition, an early sub. Yeah.
Yeah. Skelly can still grapple like that while he's fit, but I just don't think he's got more than 5 minutes in the tank anymore.
Yeah, that's my problem. Like I like Skelly, and like he's a crafty little grappler. Like he's savvy and he can scramble a bit. So I wouldn't be shocked for some early danger for Dawson. But it's just I expect Dawson to just be able to survive it, and then kind of cruise. That's really how I expect the fight to go.
Yeah, pretty much. Like as I said, I like Skelly, but yeah, even against Griffin, that was kind of a mess. I don't think you can.
Griffin had him back mounted. Like if Dawson gets him in that position, I think Dawson might finish him on the mat. Honestly,
and also Skelly versus who's he go? Who's the other Dawson who he fought like recently? He had that ridiculous second round KO loss. He got submitted, but they do it the way he didn't tap. The referee randomly made
Moffat.
Yeah, Moffat and Dawson the same person to me. I'm not sure why. Just like the names are roughly the same length.
Yeah, it was kind of a thing where Skelly had some early success, and then even though he didn't get subbed, the pivot was kind of happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dawson was completely taking over by then.
Moffat, but you're really mixing them up. Yeah.
I'm not sure. For some reason, they're just the same person too. I just think wrestling whites, certain size, same game plan.
Yeah.
If Skelly can somehow pull off a first round sub, I'd be happy for him. But I do like Skelly. He seems like a nice guy. He seems like a nice guy. But Dawson should just be busier. And the way Skelly fell off against Moffat was pretty pronounced. Yeah. Like I think I had Skelly in that fight. I had Skelly against Moffat, and I remember after round one, I was feeling kind of confident, and like minutes into round 2, I was like, "Holy shit, Skelly is just gone."
Yeah,
like there was no the cardio just fell out of his body.
Yeah, and the only time he's faced volume wrestling, like usually, I talked about this in the video as well. Usually, has only faced people who attempt 0 to 4 takedowns, and the one time he faced someone, it was Elkins, and Elkins attempted 11 takedowns, and that's pretty much what Dawson does. You know, he like ups the volume, and Elkins landed 7 takedowns, like 50 ground strikes. You know, like I just think that's going to kind of be what happens here, unless if Skelly gets a finish. So I'm just fading the finish. Essentially, that's what I'm doing. The first 5 minute finish. Yeah, but I'm actually excited for the next fight. Yusuff and Fili. I feel like I've generally been skeptical of Yusuff. But like I feel like he's decent. I just don't always like the striking reliant type of fight that relies on power, you know? But um I don't know. I feel like this could be a high variance fight. I wouldn't be surprised with either guy winning. Like I'm fine with the line being like lined pretty closely, you know? Um but I don't know, your opinions. I don't have much to say about this one.
I'd kind of agree. I feel like Yusuff has kind of been bailed out in his last 2 fights by his power.
Yeah.
Like, I think Shaman has kind of taken over. Like, Shaman completely took round 1 off, then sort of kind of dominated round 2, and was looking good in round 3, got knocked down. And Benitez, honestly, like, Benitez looked like the favourite against Yusuff, in my opinion. Yusuff was getting his ass kicked and just sort of found a comeback knockout. Yeah, well, Philly has his issues. He's probably one of those guys who suffers from having kind of developed publicly in the UFC. So people just, whenever Philly's name comes up, people can just immediately visualize a bunch of embarrassing losses.
Yeah.
But I do think Philly's depth of skill and striking and volume are a bit better, quite a bit better. Like Yusuff seems to kind of run out of ideas.
Yeah, he's got some good calf kicks, Yusuff, and he's got some pop. Like the problem I have betting this fight is like I see it's just like even if you look at that Benitez fight or the Shaman fight, like some of these striking fights, especially with Yusuff, just have high variance because like Moraes was probably on his way to winning and then he got dropped, you know, and that can just happen in striking fights. And then Yusuff and Benitez, they both dropped each other, you know, and then Benitez was kind of starting to have success and then he got knocked out. So like I could just see either guy tagging the other, you know, and like it's just sometimes hard to predict because I feel like with the knockdowns in a somewhat evenly skilled fight, a lot of shit can happen, you know, a lot of outcomes.
Yeah,
so
definitely. I lean Philly, but yeah, this fight can go all sorts of places. I played Philly a little bit plus 125, but yeah, I give Philly like a minus 150. But yeah, I don't really have strong conviction on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I generally just think both of these guys have shown that they can strike a little bit, you know, and Yusuff has some pop and Fili's got some precision. And that's kind of, you know, like I don't really care. But Barber and Modafferi, a lot of people like seem to like Roxanne, but I just think she's gonna get mauled. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think Barber's good, and funny stat, Barber, even though she's like a fight away from being qualified, she lands more significant strikes than anyone per minute in the UFC. So, and like, I don't know, it's really can Roxanne grapple her, and I just don't think Barber is Antonia Shevchenko. Like, I think she's more well-rounded than her. Antonia's a more technical striker than Barber for sure, but they just both have massive gaps in the striking over Modafferi. And then I just feel like Barber is the more well-rounded fighter. And if she gets put on her back, I don't think she's just going to be laying there, you know? And she's a physical beast. So I don't know. I think she's going to maul Roxanne, but some people are throwing a flyer on Roxanne. But yeah.
Haven't touched it, but like I do think plus 650 is a bit. Like Modafferi does have a plausible path to victory as a plus 650.
Yeah.
And this is MMA. Like, obviously it's women, so the chance of a random knockout is reduced. But like, my sort of baseline weird MMA shit percentage is like 3%. So I'm like, anybody below, like, I'd feel like any fight for no reason. Like DQs, massive injuries, toes in the eyes.
Yeah. I mean,
And like, he's
kind
talking
of.
minus 1,000 against somebody who actually does, like, to be minus 1,000, I think you have to kind of overlap somebody's skill set entirely. And like, there is still a little bit of a question mark on the takedowns. I'm not saying it's enough to play Modafferi, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, but there is a plausible path to victory. Which, you know, if you're minus 1,000 MMA, I feel like it's almost a plausible path to victory. Like, there's been no consistent path to victory.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying to go bet Barber straight. I just think that Barber's gonna maul her, but like I get it. What's plus 650? What's that mean? Like, what's the implied percentages on that? Is it like
15, I'd say 16, 17%?
16%? Yeah. So like, I don't know. That's probably the chance I maybe give Roxanne. So I don't know. I would just not mess around with it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's good when those hit, though. You know, you feel good because you get a huge return. But I don't know. I just think Barber's actually pretty good, but who knows? You know.
And it could easily be a good live bet spot on Modafferi because it could be one of those things where even because the price is so ridiculously wide, she could like get around or get like a decent takedown in round one and still be plus 400.
Oh yeah, like I see. That's something I wouldn't mind. You know, like I mean, if Roxanne wins round one, she's still going to be an underdog. You know, and then maybe you can get more more questions answered at that point. But I don't know. Like Barber seems to be improving, and I feel like the way she was kind of just stopping shots and things for Jillian Robertson, I feel like she'll be okay, but we'll see. Next fight, Oleinik and Maurice Greene.
Jesus Christ, guys. Under 1.5. I don't know. What Oleinik seems fucked. Greene is a heavyweight, so he could easily blunder into the Ezekiel choke of doom. And like, yeah, Oleinik, like, yeah, people acting like Oleinik did awful by Oleinik stands against Overeem. Like, he had no real path to victory against Overeem. I
don't think he looked that bad against Overeem.
And against Walt Harris, he just died. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to put massive judgment upon Oleinik for getting killed by Walt Harris.
Yeah.
And I don't think Maurice Greene is a massive hitter for heavyweight.
Yeah.
But it's it's a 42-year-old. Oh, he's only 42. I honestly thought he was pushing 50. Ezekiel choke specialist against a very tall person. I just play the under. I think there'll probably be some value in props here, maybe. But how the fuck do you have a strong opinion on this mess?
Yeah, this is a fucking mess. The funny thing is, like, if you really think about it, Oleinik in some of the striking fights that played out, he's actually done pretty well. Like he out distance strike Travis Brown, a couple years back, and like I mean, he's also had fights he's gotten lit up.
He also essentially got KO'd by Travis. That fight could have easily been stopped.
True, yeah. And even I don't know, like he can. Even against like Blades and Overeem, he
against
Blades some of his own. Like still, like he landed some of his own. But yeah, like I think this fight's a fucking mess. I'm not playing it, but it probably won't go the distance either.
And also, like, Greene does kind of have awful takedown defense. I'm pretty sure. Remember?
It's like. It's kind of okay. It's not like great. It's not bad. It's actually like okay for heavyweight standards, but
Like I could see something where people are sort of confusing Oleinik getting destroyed by Harris, who is obviously a massive hitter, and destroyed by Overeem into him suddenly just losing his entire chin. I don't think that's necessarily the case just yet.
Yeah.
And like, I think Greene is takedownable, but it could just. If I had to play on current odds, I'd play all Oleinik. But also, I just love Oleinik because he is. How do you not love Oleinik? He specializes in the fucking. He's the Ezekiel choke specialist. That's just beautiful.
Yeah. I think this fight's the definition of a stay away, but yeah, it's going to be hilarious, so for sure. But on to a really good fight that I'm excited for this fight. Like I like both guys. I think the line might be a little too wide here. Dober and Nasrat. What you think here?
About the same. Like I think Dober should probably be about 1+150. Like Dober's come along very well. Also, it's Southpaw versus Southpaw, and Nasrat is very rear hand reliant.
Yeah.
So like I find a lot of times Southpaw versus Southpaw matchups, particularly for guys who are very rear hand reliant, they suddenly just lack. They can't get the same angles they used to because they're trying to take advantage of the inside out of the open dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Dober can occasionally go for takedowns, cage push. And that's why I did lose a fairly one-sided fight to Marcin Held in recent memory.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way I think about this fight. Like I think Dober can compete on the feet. I'm not saying I would favor him there, but I think he can compete. Like why not? Like he's high volume, he's super tough and durable, and I mean, even though Nasrat definitely won that fight against Goaty, he still showed he was a little hittable, and he did lose a round.
Yeah, he got hit 7 out of
At
time.
least I think I gave Goaty around there.
Round 2, definitely.
Yeah, and Goaty outstruck him in round 2. So, like, I mean, in a world, Nasrat can win rounds on the feet, or Dober can win rounds on the feet, and then even though Dober isn't super busy with his takedowns, he can land them, and he lands like fight, so that could swing something too, So I think I agree. I think if I cap this fight, I would put Dober as like a +150.
Yeah.
And
also, just personal opinion, I just the only real fight Nasrat's really impressed me in is the Diakaze fight.
Yeah, he looked good in that fight, like for sure.
Yeah, he did look incredible.
Yeah,
but just saying, there's like one performance which stands out against the rest. Guti looked kind of mediocre, and Joaquim Silva, he looked quick, but again, it was a fairly low volume for first round. And I think Dober's a bit better than the Joaquim Silvas of the world.
Yeah.
And also the Diakaze domination. Diakaze seems to have righted the ship a bit, but who knows?
And one nugget to point out, even though Nasrat's super busy on the feet, like I like his volume, he actually lost round 1 to Joaquim. Like I don't know what the judges score, but I personally, or at least I thought Joaquim Silva won that first round simply because Nasrat just randomly didn't throw strikes in that round, if you remember. Yeah. And he got outlanded 13-9 in the round. So like I just see ways for Dober to compete or win on the feet. I'm not saying like he's going to dominate there or like, or that I even favor him there. It's just Nasrat has shown taking off round, tendencies just against Joaquim. And then even against Goaty, he just straight up lost, so like Dober can win rounds on the feet definitely. And then even though Dober doesn't land a ton of takedowns, he could swing something with that too. So I just see paths for him. And Dober's just fucking tough, he's gonna be coming forward and throwing offense. So
they're both powerful.
Fight of the night too, honestly.
Yeah, they're both powerful, and I think I can trust Dober's chin and durability more like Nasrat. Just because I've seen Dober's chin and durability.
Yeah. But I will give Nasrat props too. Like he looked really good against Diakaze. I mean, he beat the fuck out of him. So yeah, I like both guys. I think they've both shown that they're pretty good to me.
Yeah. I'm not saying Nasrat's awful or anything, but I think Dober's underrated. Like the way
He
he
is
beat the shit out of Dariush was he looked incredible against Dariush. And like, I personally thought maybe it was just Dariush being buggered, but I feel like against Camacho, Dariush showed he still has enough in the tank.
Yeah. And just I guess in the last in the last 4 years since like 2016, like every fight that he's been in, he's competed really well or won. Like he
Yeah.
obviously beat the fuck out of Polo Reyes. He beat the fuck out of John Tuck. He kind of beat up Camacho. That was pretty fun. He knocked out Berkman. He knocked out Gonzalez. He beat Holtzman, who I think Holtzman's pretty good. And then he kind of just lost to Dariush, but also made some scary moments for him. And then he got subbed by OAM, a few years ago. So he's still like competing in every fight. So I expect it to be competitive for the most part.
I also kind of like not Nasrat inside distance at minus 300. It's juicy, but I feel like I can trust Dober's chin. And I feel like the Southpaw v Southpaw thing means a lot of the open won't be there for the rear hand.
Yeah.
But I'll sort of see that a bit close to the fight. I could see I could see people slamming Nasrat hack press KO for no particular reason, but I don't know.
Yeah. Go on.
Dober, and yes, I think Dober plus 250 is just hype train price. I originally got on at plus 5, so I'm a bit annoyed, but I had a bit more plus 250.
Yeah.
But I could see that price going. Like I'm hoping I could see it rebounding a bit I could see it rebounding to plus 200. I could see it keep going out because Nasrat just seems to have Nasrat was minus 1,000 against Guti. Like it is Thibaut Guti, but Jesus.
No, for sure. He
Like it is men's MMA. I find it difficult to put pretty much anybody in men's MMA at minus 1,000.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, Dober's just tough. Like he's gonna be like he can attempt over 300 strikes, like he's fucking tough. So I expect this to be a war, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
he's fit, he's tough.
Dober will get into a war, he doesn't mind.
Yeah, so I feel like we have a lot more. We've seen him a lot more in a war. He's fit, he's tough. He doesn't really go away. I don't think Nasrat's got the grappling ability to really take advantage of that. I don't necessarily think it's a Dober hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Dober's as a grappler, not like amazing, but he can land takedowns of his own and stuff. But I think this might be fight of the night, to be honest, because I expect it to be more competitive than the line indicates.
Yep.
Next fight, Diego Ferreira over and Anthony Pettis. I was hoping the line would be a little better than this because I do think Diego's gonna kind of box Pettis up, and I think Pettis needs a finish here. And I see a lot of people thinking Pettis has a shot at a sub, but I don't think he can sub Diego at all. Like Diego's super high level on the mat. He has wins in grappling over Gary Tonin, even though it was a young Gary Tonin. I just don't think he'll get guard subs. So I think Pettis has to knock out Diego pretty much.
Or club sub, or club sub, but he has to essentially facilitate something, do something based on a finish.
Yeah.
Honestly, Pettis ITD is plus 7.5, which if I was going to play Pettis, I'd pretty much take that.
Yeah.
So I just feel like CDF should be out voluming him and moving forward to a massive extent.
And gas him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Diego has a chance at a 10-8, honestly, in round 3. So
I chucked 2 units on minus 200. We're quite early in the line's history.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy with, but they might actually hedge it off a bit with that Pettis ITD line because I'm surprised it's so high. But again, honestly, Anthony Pettis ITD lines always tend to be kind of crazy high, even in his fights with his big dog. I remember him against Ferguson. His ITD line against Ferguson was plus 1,000. And I was just
that's like his only win.
Hit. Yeah, it's the only way to win. And I remember Pettis Ferguson. Pettis' decision was plus 400. RTD was plus 1,000. I'm like, Ferguson's going to run into something. I'm not saying Ferguson's going to get a drop from it, but yeah, Tony Ferguson's going to find somewhere to be hurt by Anthony.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was like, yeah, he survived it, but
yeah, like I honestly even like Diego minus 230, I'm not like there might even be value. I think Pettis is finish or bust.
Yeah.
I think
I think
I'm hoping action comes in on Pettis just because he has a name, and it's a pay-per-view card. Hopefully public money comes in because it's a McGregor card. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping to get Diego at a better price.
I'd say the RTD's finally dropped too, which I played that as well. It's gone plus 135 to about plus 115. Yeah, I think CDF will do his best to manufacture finishing chances for both of them.
Yeah.
He won't go away, which means he'll probably be hit by something massive at some point. Because there's Anthony Pettis.
Yeah.
Like, if Pettis just kind of kills him in like 3 minutes around one, I wouldn't be otherworldly shocked. But I do think CDF should be winning minutes, should be winning rounds, and she'll just be pulling out further and further and further as the fight goes on.
Honestly, Diego, the reason why Diego, I'm going to be looking at his TKO line. Like, I don't know what it's going to be, but just because he's going to land a shitload of strikes. So, one, a KO could happen just because he's going to land a shitload of strikes. Pettis is tough, though, but just because he's going to land so much, Duke Rufus actually seems like a guy who's willing to stop fights in the corner, too.
Yeah.
And just I could see like a ref just kind of stopping it if he overwhelms them too. And like he might not put Pettis out, but I just see shots landing and unanswered shots landing at some points. Unless if Pettis finishes him, of course, like early. But if it goes to the third round, I just see a lot of shots landing. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna monitor that line right now because I don't love minus 250, but I just think it's going to be tough for Pettis to win.
Also, even CDF sub, I could see a good price on that. Like Pettis has an incredible ability to escape back control.
Yeah,
like it's truly astounding. It's like the one part of grappling where he's just world class randomly.
Yeah.
But I'm questioning how long he can rely on that ability. Like eventually he's gonna get tapped. Eventually he's gonna get stuck and tapped.
Yeah.
And CDF's high enough level where he could definitely take advantage of Pettis' back giving up tendencies.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, even like Pettis is still he's being stopped by injuries, but in terms of just like taking punishment, Pettis still hasn't really been KO'd.
Yeah, that's the thing about the TKO line. Love it because for Diego, it's like I don't love it because
he got stopped by Holloway. I forgot about that. But even then, it was like body shots. It was
14 minutes. It was like a volume KO. Yeah.
And it was an awful cut.
Yeah. That's the thing about the KO. Like, I don't like Pettis to go down by a shot, but I still see a lot of shots landing, and I could just see something like that finishing the fight, whether it's like Pettis just quitting or just the corner or the refs like jumping in because of unanswered shots. So, I think Grasso and Claudia. I think this is going to be a split decision, but I just think both. I almost think this is going to kind of be like Esparza Grasso, where I think both girls will have success. If Claudia gasses, I could see Grasso really taking over, and Claudia does tend to gas, and Grasso doesn't. But Claudia will probably land some takedowns too. I think it's a good live betting opportunity because even if Grasso wins that first round and she's like minus 190, I would like her at that point, because she's a way better tank. But
Gadelha is not going to pull it back.
She's not going to win round 3.
I kind of like the RTD.
I see it. So
I kind of like the RTD plus 220 just because I feel it's a pretty binary fight. I know you don't necessarily rate Gadelha's sub game that highly, but I do think it is quite binary. And Grasso, I'll also play Grasso round 3 just because I tend to play round 3 of everybody against Gadelha. Just because. I was kind of annoyed. I remember I had ITD in the round 3 on Answerov against Gadelha. I even had the what's the name? Asparza ITD against Gadelha. And it was a stupid price. And like in round 1 when she like, was she drop her or wobble her? I remember she definitely hurt her in round 1.
I think she hurt her.
Yeah, like Gadelha was clearly hurt. It was like I think Gadelha might be even a little bit chinny for a woman.
Yeah.
So like Grasso round 3 will probably be tempting. 5 plus 505 for round 1. So there's a good chance that's like plus 2,000-ish.
Yeah.
And otherwise, yeah. Like I'd probably lean Grasso, but no strong conviction either way.
Yeah, I guess I lean Grasso too, just because of like the gassing factor. But Claudia will probably land some takedowns early, So yeah, I think round 2 is going to be in this fight probably.
Yeah, definitely. Also, draws kind of tempting too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if anybody's game, I'm happy to fade Gadelha's the gas tank all day.
Yeah. I also feel like Claudia maybe her last fight against Marcos, like nothing happened, but I just feel like Claudia, if you kind of push her a little bit, I feel like maybe she's even declining a little bit, like I don't know, she just didn't look good before that Marcos fight, like against Nina and other fighters. So I don't know, we'll see. I expect it to probably be a little back and forth. No strong opinions. I'll just look to live bet. Holm and Pennington. I think the line's probably right. Both girls don't really land strikes that much, and they both managed to kind of like not get landed on much either. So I just expect another low volume kickboxing fight. That's pretty much what I expect. Holm's probably a little overall has a higher ceiling as a fighter, in my opinion. So I'm okay with her being a slight favorite, but I expect both girls to land 45 significant strikes and it just kind of be low volume.
Yeah, agree with that. Pennington. I would like Pennington when she opened wider. I played Pennington when it was originally made for the Melbourne card because Pennington was like plus 160 then I remember from the top of my head.
Yeah.
But plus 120. I feel like you're getting a coin flip or 55-45 split decision.
Yeah.
When the decision's read out, you won't know who's won. So like, I'm not going to. I feel like Pennington's probably the right side from a pure value point of view. Pennington does seem to have upped her aggression a bit lately. Like against Aldana, Pennington came forward quite consistently.
She looked better against Aldana, yeah. But at the same time, like you can come forward against Holm and she won't be there. Like Holm will just move away. So.
Yeah, but I feel like the optics are coming forward and like.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might win the fight.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's just like the fact that Pennington's actually coming forward just might be enough.
Yeah, seriously.
So Holm, and Holly Holm just is Holly Holm. Has Holly Holm ever really outstruck anybody on volume?
No.
Like Megan Anson, but that was mostly good takedowns. Mario Minogue is the only person she's outstruck meaningfully in volume. Oh,
it's kind of like Misha Tate, and Misha Tate can't strike.
No, 59-40.
I don't think she ever has. I guess a couple. Like I'm looking at her numbers now.
Shevchenko put 40 more strikes on Holm than Holm put on Shevchenko. When Shevchenko was out volume, it was almost doubling your volume. There was something wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I just expect the girls to. Either girl's probably going to fall into the 30 to 60 significant strikes, 40 to 60 or something like that, and probably hover 10 to 15 strikes off. That's kind of what I see. So I don't really care. But moving on to the main event, this is a goofy fight. Mcgregor and Cerrone. I'll go first. The way I see it is the line's off. Like, I don't think Conor should be minus 300 just in a striking fight where Conor has, I mean, he's just objectively shown the tendency to gas. I don't love his line, you know?
Yeah,
But
agreed.
at the same time, I think he's going to murk Cerrone early. So it's like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like Cerrone might get knocked out early. So I don't want to play Cerrone either, you know? And if you kind of wait to live bet, you could, you know, avoid that risk of him getting knocked out and kind of see the fight play out a little more, you know? So that's kind of the way I see this fight. To be fair to Conor, I do think Nate Diaz pressures and spams little volume, you know, more than anyone. And that's just kind of his game. Like, he does gas you out. So it wasn't like Conor has been completely gassed out in other fights, you know? And Cerrone isn't like insanely come forward, but at the same time, he's still gassed, you know, in like the third round. So.
And also, when Cerrone starts really coming forward and taking over, he does mix it up very well.
Yeah.
Like, I have always believed that 3-minute Cerrone pivot. Like, if you actually look at Cerrone's record, Cerrone's only ever been knocked out once after round one.
Yeah.
And, like, that was the Masvidal fight should have been stopped between round 1 and 2 because Masvidal killed him at the end of round 1. And then Cerrone's corpse got sent out again. So, like, you know, Cerrone's only ever been knocked out in the first round. It might just, you know, when you apply the explanatory value to the Masvidal fight. But yeah, Conor starts hard, starts fast, is a southpaw, body hits, crowds well. I am also curious how Conor's style actually works against somebody his own size, if not bigger than him.
Yeah. No, I've wondered that. He relies on range a lot, you know? So.
Yeah. Like, Cerrone is
smaller
the
man.
same. Yeah, Cerrone is taller and has essentially the same range. And he has more of a distance kicking game than pretty much anybody else I can think of. So, McGregor's fought.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if it just turns out the thing where Connor's would be relying on sort of Cerrone to plunge into the pocket face first, and, like, you know, Cerrone's not exactly an elite boxer, but he's got options, which mean he doesn't have to run into Connor's range, except the intercepting power strikes. I also think Connor's power is a bit overrated.
Agreed. I was just gonna say that.
I think he's definitely powerful, but I don't think he's like some A god hitter. He's not Darren Till.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying too. So I was going to say like two things. I think one, Conor's power, like, I'm not saying it's bad, but I do think it's a bit overrated. Like, he's really only knocked he knocked Aldo dead, and it just kind of happened. And then he kind of precision shot, you know, Eddie Alvarez throughout the first couple rounds. Like, Dustin Poirier did the same thing to Eddie, you know? So it's not like, and like, other than that, I don't know, like Masvidal seemed like a way heavier hitter than Conor when you kind of compare the Diaz fights.
Yeah.
But yes, I think he's just kind of like a normal hitter, if that makes sense. Like, he still lands at a pretty high rate, so he can knock you out. And he's precise, but I don't think he's like a huge hitter. And also, is Cerrone, like, does he really have that bad of a chin? I mean,
it's a welterweight. Also, it's a welterweight, which I think helps a bit.
But the thing is, like, he's kind of like what I think happens sometimes with Cerrone is he fights every 2 weeks. So we've seen him get knocked out. Like, if Conor fought 40 times in the last 6 years, he probably would have been knocked out too, you know? So when you fight that often and someone sees that person get knocked out, I think their chin kind of gets, you know, underrated just because they fight a lot. So, like, you see it happen. But really, like, as far as like a percentage, his chin's actually probably very good, you know, just because he's had so many fights and he's really only been knocked out to the head a few times. And Darren Till's a heavy fucking hitter. Like, Darren Till dropped Masvidal, you know.
Also, I think Cerrone's chin, like, is partly a confidence thing. He just, once he gets ticking over, it just seems to be able to, he takes heavy shots once he's ticking over.
Yeah, it's Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I think it's one of those things. If you get in his face immediately and you hit the ball, which Conor is very capable of doing, of course. But
yeah,
also, I think like in the day, you're playing if you're playing Conor, you're playing a minus 330 who hasn't fought in a year and a half. And I didn't necessarily like what I saw out of Conor against Khabib. Like Conor did compete against Khabib a bit, but I just didn't like his approach. Felt it looked a bit sloppy.
yeah. I
So
think he did better in that fight than like people give him credit for. But this is a different fight, you know.
yeah,
And it's just like I don't know. You can't play Conor at these odds. You just can't do it. And then, but the thing with Cerrone is like his odds might improve after round one, and you could
yeah,
avoid that risk of that first round KO. Because I feel like if Conor knocks him out, it'll be kind of in the first two rounds.
yeah,
I don't think Conor will knock him out in rounds 3 to 5. Like I guess it's possible. I just think the chances go down.
yeah, dramatically. And also, I think also as far as cardio is concerned, I assume Conor's going to approach this with the knowledge he should blitz Cerrone. So I
Yeah,
feel like he's probably going to be dumping quite a bit of energy into doing that.
yeah. I don't think he should. I think he should take maybe a Leon Edwards approach.
Yeah,
But like I feel like Conor shouldn't rush the finish, but he just has a tendency to throw a lot early, you know. I guess we'll kind of see what happens, but yeah, like I don't know. There's a lot of question marks in this fight, you know. I just feel like it's probably better for live betting as well. But
yeah, definitely.
yeah, so like overall, I like Dawson. And I'm gonna look into a few other fights. I know you like a few fighters as well. And then after that, I think we have UFC like consecutive weeks for a while after that.
25th. And I think we skipped one off. We kept two, then we skipped one. Then we then for a few weeks after that. It was good. Then we
Yeah.
have 3 weeks off for Ngannou versus Rosenstoik.
We
I'm
gotta
pissed off at Rosenstoik. Yeah, you're pissing me off at Rosenstoik. If he just killed over him in 30 seconds in a meaningless display of nothing, he would be evens against Ngannou right now.
yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that he sort of demonstrated how bad he was and then had the temerity to win the fight, like, that's what pisses me off. When a fighter, like, if a fighter clearly shows their flaws to everybody, but then somehow still pulls out the victory,
Yeah.
and it's like, the person who has realized that has just lost money. The market is a bunch of people are now aware that they suck, so that person loses their information edge,
Yeah.
and it's a disgrace.
That was a rough one. He literally won the fight in the last punch of the fight.
I mean, there are a lot of KOs which are the last punch of the fight, but yeah, pretty much. And it
Yeah.
wasn't like it was something where Overeem just didn't get hit cleanly for 24 minutes, and then it was just one random Rosenstrike punch. It was like, Overeem showed the capability to take 60 of Rosenstrike's punches.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of people are acting like Rosenstrike would just get a knockout off any solid connection,
Yeah.
and that wasn't really the case. Like I feel like I probably underestimated Rosenstrike's grappling defense a bit. But on the other hand, like even that, as far as that's concerned, I feel like it's probably like 25% chance over to get to finish off any given takedown. We're just kind of
Yeah.
sequencing the ones we got.
It was a goofy fight. Him and Ngannou, I guess, will be fun, but I
I think the
yeah.
guy just wins by animal, just ridiculous. Like Ngannou is very durable, and Ngannou hits very, very hard. And I think Rosenstrike hits reasonably hard, and probably a more schooled striker than Ngannou, but Ngannou has god power, and Rosenstrike is hittable. And there's kickboxing footage of Rosenstrike being knocked out, like not especially hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's trailed off a bit. You have the decent parts in the horizon. Just looking at the best fight odds. There's some stuff for what's the next card? Stuff from Blades Dos Santos, JDS, which looks like decent prices.
Yeah. I'm really interested in I think there's a few cards. I think it's like the Anderson Jan card. There's like a lot of things I'm kind of eyeing, so I'll be looking at that. But I actually got to roll. Sorry, Gugabe.
So good.
But we'll do another podcast. I guess we probably won't be doing one until after 246. But yeah, we could always maybe do a filler one or something. So we'll see what happens.
All right. All good.
Cool.
Yep. That's a good podcast. Right. The books.
Yeah.
So yeah.